Hey everyone out there in the land of YouTube, this is Annette Dion. I'm the host and founder of the Psychic News Network. It is November 19th, 2021. It's Friday, and we just came off a very, very intense full moon lunar eclipse in the sign of Taurus, which I got up about an hour after it finished, around 5 a.m. Eastern time. Probably the most intense lunar eclipse I've ever felt in my lifetime. So I'm curious to know in the comments how it felt to you. We're all psychic, so you wouldn't have to be a psychic to feel, consider yourself a psychic to feel the energy of this full moon lunar eclipse. It's a really important time to kind of just take some really deep breaths. I know I always say that, but I just mean because people are really on edge right now, and not just because of the lunar eclipse. I guess they kind of go hand in hand. There's so much tumult in this country right now, and I know that I called the Rittenhouse acquittal, but nonetheless, it was like a punch to the gut to see it actually be reality. And we're in an interesting place, and I want to mention too, and thanks to Linda G for mentioning me. I did call her this afternoon, and we had a good chat, and I was talking about being in line at the post office and wanting to, I really had to hold back because this woman cut me in the line, and the post office is very slow these days. There's one window open, and I'm just there to pick up a couple of packages, and I had to take some deep breaths and just choose to not say anything when she cut me in the line. And then I just told myself I could come back later. I didn't have time to wait. Those kinds of things. And I notice a lot of people, I'm on Main Street here where I live, and people beeping at each other angrily. There's, we are in a time of collective trauma. So I'm gonna just speak to this for a minute, because it's important that it's addressed. We've had about 5 years of all kinds of assaults on our democracy, all kinds of violence, justice not happening, and the Rittenhouse, him being completely found not guilty when he murdered people in cold-blooded murder, and just walking free, and then getting invitations to do internships at for the Republican Party. It's traumatizing to see this country going the direction it's going, and it's breaking up our sense of normalcy, and people are terrified. Let's just tell it like it is. People are terrified. And this is why we have to practice being still, and practice kindness, and practice love, and practice some kind of faith in some kind of a higher intelligence, whatever you want to call it. So on that note, I want to say that Linda G and I are organizing a group meditation. You don't have to be a meditator. It's 20 minutes of silence wherever you are. We're gonna sync it up to whatever time zone you're in. If it's 10 a.m. in California, it's 1 p.m. in Massachusetts. We're gonna do it on Sunday. We're collectively gathering the other psychics on YouTube. I'm new on YouTube, so I don't have a lot of subscribers, but thank you guys for subscribing, especially just all of you, actually. We're gonna collectively meditate, and I just want you to know that I mentioned the other day that the Maharishi Institute in 2007 to 2010 did an extensive study on the impact of meditation on crime rates in major metropolitan areas, and the crime rate went down substantially. We can start there. We can start there. So on that note, I hate to be all serious, but these are serious times. This is, you know, an incredible war between the dark and the light. And I tell all my clients, you know, it's resistance training in the sense that we have to fight for the light. We have to fight for the love. We have to pray for our enemies. And that does not condone the bad behavior. We have to send them light. It doesn't condone the bad behavior. It kind of quells everything. Did anybody see Kevin McCarthy last night? I have to laugh. Sorry about the noise if there's noise in the background. I have my fake fireplace on that cranks out real heat, and yesterday it was like summer in Massachusetts, and today it's like freezing. The cards are falling out of the deck, so let's see what we have. I was just speaking about Kevin McCarthy. I want you all to understand, if you be with me on this. The Republican Party has become a violent cult. I don't think I could have said it any better than that. Thank you, guides. The Republican Party has become a violent cult. And our justice system is not prepared for that. Obviously. Kevin McCarthy, this entertainment purposes only. This channel is for entertainment purposes only. The guides showed me Kevin McCarthy on the phone with 45 yesterday in the morning when 45 was on the golf course, which he actually said. I didn't remote view that. But I kind of heard the conversation psychically, and the conversation was that Kevin McCarthy was to get up there and to fight against passing the Build Back Better bill. Until 5 a.m. apparently, because when I got up, it had just ended. I got up at 5 a.m. I don't know what's wrong with me these days. The guides just gave me these cards, so I'm just going to tell you what they are about Kevin McCarthy. So, this is more than I usually pull, but let's see what comes up. The Fool. Now, I actually get this as a message from the guides. We'd be foolish to not pay attention to what's going on, in the sense that we'd be foolish to just... I gotta say, if I'm watching the news and then they go to a commercial and it's like, buy a BMW. I'm kind of like, no, let's pay attention to what's going on, right? That's my sense. We really have to pay attention to what's going on. And that's what I mean by the meditation. The meditation will have an effect. I mean, between Linda G and all the other psychics, not me per se, but that's a lot of people meditating, and it's not going to just be for Sunday. And if you happen to not make it at that time, we'll post it and you'll be able to meditate whenever you can. Just being quiet. So that's one way to participate. That's a start. There's a lot. Well, this is interesting because I'm asking about Kevin McCarthy and I'm getting these cards. I saw desperation. And I felt like he was under pressure from 45 big time, and that he really does act like 45's puppet. Kevin McCarthy, I'm not being mean, I'm just going to tell you, he's not that bright. He's not that bright. He's pretty much just, doing what he's told. Now, the Chariot, the Wheel of Fortune is coming up, and that's indicative of the Build Back Better bill. I do, let's ask the pendulum. I feel like it's going to jump through all the hoops that it needs to. This morning was pretty major. And yeah, the guides are saying that the Build Back Better is going to take effect. it's really fascinating because when I was listening to what was going on last night, aside from Kevin McCarthy, how many things are in the Build Back Better program? It's phenomenal. It's phenomenal. This is the difference between having a country that's functional and safe to the extent anyway of our roads and our bridges being repaired, and this is a big deal. This is a bigger deal than anyone has seen, unless they were around during Roosevelt's time. It's a big deal. So I went from being like, yay, yay, just really excited, to the Rittenhouse thing today, like, ooh. So we are on this roller coaster. The chariot's indicating speed and things coming to a conclusion. I haven't heard much about when this all is going to completely pass, because I guess it has to pass the Senate too. But the Ace of Pentacles. Okay, so this is good news. I mean, I'm seeing like Kevin McCarthy's shtick. He stood up there for 8 hours. Amazing. His shtick didn't shtick. And Nancy Pelosi is looking, like a very smart woman right now. You have to understand that these Republicans are part of a cult. If you want to understand more about that, I happen to know a lot about that because I've studied it. Jim Jones made people commit suicide back in, I guess that was in the 70s, drinking the Kool-Aid. It's a perplexing thing. It really, that people's minds can be taken over to the point where they'll do anything. The frightening thing, and I don't mean to frighten you, but we're already frightened about the Rittenhouse thing, what that sets a precedent for. So let's ask the pendulum, are we going to see more violence from Proud Boys and, white supremacists embracing Kyle Rittenhouse? Are we going to see more violence? I'm just going to ask, because this can be seen as a license to, they said it was fine. The jury acquitted him. So they said it's fine for all these laws to be broken. In other words, like the violent children with military ammunition. It's fine if they want to just go shoot people up, okay? I said the other night, the world is watching. The world is watching America go to a very, we'll just say, dark place. So is violence going to increase as a result? Well, the pendulum is giving me giving me the runaround at the moment. Wow, you know what that indicates? It's up to us. We gotta meditate. We gotta do the meditation. And that question might have been too vague. We'll go back to it. All right, so there were some questions. I'm gonna switch gears and go to a completely different topic because we need a little break. Somebody asked about the weather. I think his name was Sven, S-V-E-I-N. Whether the measures that are being taken to stop global climate warming change from going to a place where there's a point of no return, is that actually going to happen? Let's go to that. Let's go to that, because we're all full of the shock of the okay being given to shooting people up. Okay, it's shocking, I know. So we're going to go to the climate issue. Sage. Because that whole summit, you know, about the climate, it lasted 2 whole weeks in Glasgow, and we want to see if actually with the infrastructure bill, you know, and with what other countries, you know, developed countries especially plan to do, is it going to make a difference? The fool is jumping all over the place. The fool is really indicating tonight, it's up to us. It's up to us. It's up to us. It's up to what we decide to do. Every individual matters. Even if you're given to Greenpeace or given to, you know, an organization that supports sustainability, you know, talking to people about driving less or whatever it is. I'm just making stuff up off the top of my head. But this is about global climate change. Are we going to be able to stop the damage in time so that we basically don't perish as a human species? We will have great force there'll be great force if we unite. The fool means it's up for grabs. The fool is like, this is up to our free will in regards to this question. And then this is, if we have a clear idea, this is the Ace of Swords. And the star is like, America, you know what? Despite all the really scary stuff that's happening, America is going to lead the way. Well, not that we're going to be the best behaved country when it comes to doing something about global climate change. It just looks like there's some stuff on the docket that means we are going to be kind of like, oh, good, good on you, mate, because there will be some action taken. So I would say, is it going to be too little, too late, or is it going to be enough? Well, not in its current form. Will it be enough after more adjustments are made or more agreements are made by other countries to really pitch in? Yeah, they're not there yet. They're not there yet. There's a lot more work to be done to curb global warming. They're not there yet. They just kind of scratch the surface. But it's something, and that is in the infrastructure bill. I had this T-shirt and it said "Love always wins." I want everyone to remember that. Love always wins. This violence is a call for us to be more loving, to send out that vibration. We're gonna have to work on it. This is resistance training. I always tell everyone. All right, so the Arbery case, the other one that's going on, I mentioned the other day that I do see sentencing. I see pretty long sentences. That I think it's Travis McMichael. It's guilty. I mean, he got up there and he was just basically admitting his guilt, shooting an unarmed jogger point blank because he was black. I don't see that one going well for the defendants. We're going to take a look. We're going to look at the things that are dark and get some insight. I feel like that the Arbery case, and I do want to look at my pendulum for this, are they going to go to prison? Yes. Well, it's not a strong yes. I think what the pendulum is telling me right now at this is that not all three of them. Not all three of them. And I don't know their names, or I would go down the list of the 3 names of the guys who assaulted and killed Ahmaud Arbery. Is one going to prison? 1. Are 2 going to prison? 2. Even the pendulum's confused today. 1's definitely going to prison. I think it's just up, right now it's up in the air. The high priestess means that, yeah, it's exactly what the pendulum was just saying. There's not enough, it hasn't been determined yet. I want you to know that the guides don't interfere with free will. The beauty of getting a reading, or is that when there's something going on, it's not etched in stone. The trajectory could change. So that's why the Fool card keeps coming up too. It looks like a fair outcome in the Ahmaud Arbery trial, not like the Rittenhouse thing. It looks like a different story. It does. It looks like a different ball game. Okay, so there's that. I think that I've seen some attacking Sesame Street characters. There's so much weird stuff going on. I'm telling you, that's just weird. I saw a clip of Matt Gaetz defending Paul Gosar by talking about Wile E. Coyote from the Roadrunner, like comparing the situation to a cartoon. And he wasn't the only one that was doing that. And why isn't Matt Gaetz in jail? And why isn't Gosar unseated? And why is Marjorie Taylor Greene still there? And why is Boebert still there? And what is up with the January 6th Commission? And what's up with Steve Bannon inciting more violence and wanting to lock up our government officials? Wanting to lock up our voting system? What's going on there? Guides, too many questions. We need some answers. So let's specify our buddy Steve Bannon. For entertainment purposes only, is what he's doing right now gonna get any mileage? Boy, the guys just showed them like high-fiving over the Rittenhouse thing. I know, when the darkness is dancing and celebrating, we just have to breathe, think about love, and do loving things, and fight for justice. Well, Bannon's kind of blowing smoke, because the Nine of Pentacles has been coming up indicating that the January 6th Commission, I'm getting that they're gonna put an end to him freely inciting violence more. They're gonna put an end to it. And the other day I said Pelosi has something on Bannon that Bannon doesn't know about. He's gonna be quelled. Bannon is gonna be quelled. That means, I take that to mean he's gonna be quieted down. Maybe because he's incriminated himself, and maybe he gets advised to just like, maybe you should pipe it down. Bannon's just like 45. They're just like 45. It's like they're related. So, I know Thanksgiving is coming. I know that I sensed that there was going to be a lot of legal government things still happening, even when they're in recess. So for the holiday, I don't know the government schedule in terms of Congress, and but I do see something happening before Thanksgiving that seems like a major step in the right direction. It's really the discrepancy between what the Republicans are doing right now. It's kind of like when the light gets brighter, the dark gets darker and fights back. So it's like freaking Star Wars, I do see something being passed by Thanksgiving. I'm not even sure what it is. I guess I've been busy today. I didn't check the news on that. But they're going to get a lot done between now and the Thanksgiving break. This Rittenhouse thing is a stab to the heart of America. It's really not. It's not really something that we can address right away. This is a very long-standing problem. But I do see the guides are showing me that because of the Rittenhouse situation, there's going to be a lot of really serious discussions about our legal system. I don't know how far we're going to get. I'm just saying it's better when we see these things being talked about than when we don't. Little segue. There was a time some months ago that I mentioned that I wanted to do a whole show on whatever happened to. Because when these things don't get continually discussed and they just kind of get swept under the rug, that makes us feel really uneasy. And I'm feeling like the Rittenhouse thing is going to bring a lot of conversation, and I think it's really good. I think it's really important that we have serious conversations about this. You know, not just people that are public servants, not just that, but also around the Thanksgiving table, you know, like, or just, you know, with people, friends, you know, we need to start talking. We need to start talking about what this means for our country, and I do see those conversations starting to happen. Do we want to go down this road of America being all about violence? Do we really want that? And the Four of Wands is saying we are looking at it. We are looking at it as a country. You know, when things get very difficult, that's when people get really, like, you know, woken up. And I see a lot of that. I see a lot of people getting woken up. A lot of, like, this has gone way too far. We need to all stop and we need to do something collectively. And we will, because we are better than this. This is a minority of the population that is violent, that is hateful, that is, excuse me, stupid, because violence is just stupid, disruptive. What a dichotomy to see on the one hand, you know, Biden and, you know, the Democrats just trying to make our country functional, and then these bully thugs, it's just mind-boggling. These bully thugs just, you know, wanting to ruin it. So imagine it working out for the best, shall we? Let's just do that, shall we? Remember, I need to talk to an astrologer. Maybe Linda can hook us up with Andre. Because we did hear something about 45 not having an easy time of it from the 19th on. So let's look at that, shall we? 45, what's going on? Oh, he's happy. He's happy. 45 is happy. He had McCarthy standing up there for 8 hours into the wee hours of the morning. Those poor people were so, I bet they were so tired. McCarthy's tired. Mark Meadows is, they're just moving their mouths. I'm telling you, they're just moving their mouths. So let's see what's going on with 45's luck running out. Because Jupiter was giving him a whole lot of luck for a whole lot of time, and oh, yep. Yep. Oh my goodness. This is like, okay, this is what's for, I'm just asking about the astrology of 45, because I heard something about Jupiter not giving him all this luck anymore, starting today. I think we have a little leverage here energetically to lift things up energetically. He doesn't have much. I don't care how much McCarthy is saying he's going to make 45 Speaker of the House. What the heck? The Eight of Pentacles again. There's too much evidence against him. So let's ask now, like we have asked before. Remember I said that our justice system needs to be like a great white shark and needs a lot of teeth, a lot of sharp, destructive teeth? that's a pendulum question, because it's a yes or no. Is it going to have the teeth that it needs, our justice system? You know, because 45 and, you know, inciting a violent insurrection on his own country as President of the United States. It doesn't get any weirder, we hope. Is the justice system going to do its job? Yes. And you know what the guides are saying too? That the Rittenhouse acquittal, you know, when I was just talking about us, you know, stepping back and going, oh, well, this is we can't keep going on this road. That goes for our judicial system too. So this acquittal of cold-blooded murder, you can't get much more cold-blooded than what Kyle Rittenhouse did. I mean, in terms of it being obvious. That was not self-defense, that was murder. And not just of one person. So back to the drawing board for our justice system. Everyone's taking a gulp, like not just a deep breath, like, oh my goodness, what? We can't do this. We can't do this. So I'm going to look at just 3 cards about that before I let you go. If things just keep amping up, I might come back tomorrow. I definitely will come back and let you know about the meditation, what time it's going to be, and we'll take it from there. I have a feeling, you know, I want you all to understand that if it weren't for 45, I mean, it's really starting to hit me. If it weren't for 45, all these spiritual people, and I consider people that watch us, I mean, the psychic with the neon palm and, you know, all that, you know, fake psychic stuff, you know, all that, this is not where we are. We're in a spiritual community. We're in a spiritual community. And we have that now. That's like a light weapon. It's like our sabers. Swords, or whatever you call those, lightsabers. We have a huge tool. That huge tool is us collectively coming together, even if it's for 20 minutes together. I do want to do that on a weekly basis. We'll start on Sunday. That is a huge piece of energetic equipment to work with, to lift the collective energy. You know, I've mentioned before the Sadhguru, who I've known since 1998 and, you know, followed him. He said, if 1% of the world's population can be meditative, we will be okay. And that's what this is. And that's what's been created through these stressful times. So that's the resistance training part. The dark got darker, so the light has to get lighter. We have to get stronger. And this is one way of doing it. So we're coming together for more than, oh, let's just see what the cards say. It's more than that. It's bigger than that. I'm telling you, it really is. We have to pray for our enemies. And that doesn't mean condoning them. That means getting the energy that's so awful that they're having to be neutralized, if nothing else. Yeah, we will collectively as a nation be taking a really strong look at what's going on here. What is going on? We have to pay attention. The Lover cards, we are going to come together. The Lover card, it's not all romantic. I'm reading in the context of our country. We will come together. Love is the answer. Love is always the answer. Love is stronger than hate and vitriol and violence and anger. And we got a lot to work with. We have a lot of good stuff to work with. So accentuate the positive. Think good thoughts. Join us on Sunday. We will come back and let you know. I don't know if Linda's doing another video between now and then, but I definitely will. I'll come back and let you know tomorrow even if it's not for a full reading. And so grateful that you're here. Love yourself, be nice to yourself, give yourself a break from the news, because we don't want to focus on the news too much, unless it's good. All right, if you'd like to book a personal reading, it's AnnetteDion7@gmail.com. Please book a reading through emailing me. My website, frankly, just to be honest, is a mess. So someday I'll fix that, but I don't know. I have this sort of a psychic impression that websites aren't going to be all that big of a deal anymore. AnnetteDion7@gmail.com if you would like to book a personal reading. Thank you so much. It means so much that you are here in so many ways, on so many levels. Namaste. See you soon.